Hi, this is Robert for LizardTech, and appreciate you coming in, joining. All of you have already joined on the audio conference. Welcome. We'll get started in a couple minutes, just waiting for a few more people to join and to let them get connected to the audio as well. We'll be recording this meeting so you can access it later on our archives at lizardtech.com. Okay, so I'll be back in just a couple minutes. Hi, everybody. This is Robert Parker from LizardTech, and we're going to get started right now. And appreciate everybody that's joined on the audio conference already and on the WebEx. I'll be sharing my screen, and we'll be looking into how LizardTech products integrate with ArcMap products and our Esri products and what we can do to make life easier for people that are using imagery and LiDAR within Esri software. Yeah, let's get things started here. I think most people are on the audio, and those who aren't can access later at our archives at lizardtech.com. So I'm going to just share my desktop with you here. Here we go. All right. So I've got a few programs open here. I've got GeoExpress open. I've got ArcMap open. I've got a number of things. Let me close down this WebEx link here. So Basically, the first thing that we deal with here at LizardTech is one of our main focuses has always been imagery, making imagery a lot easier to manage. Many of you are probably already familiar with SID files, Mr. SID. LizardTech created that file format a long time ago, and it's still the main compressed image format used today in the GIS industry, as well as a number of other industries. You know, the file format itself has gone through a few changes. You know, when it first came out, it was Mr. SID Generation 2, and that was in use for a very long time. People are still using it to this day. Then we came out with Generation 3, early 2000, maybe 2002, and that has been the standard for a long time, compressed image format. And then most recently, we've released Mr. SID Generation 4. And Mr. SID Generation 4 is the latest version of the Mr. SID file format. It adds multispectral support to the Mr. SID file format, as well as alpha bands for transparency and very fast mosaicing features. And all of that is supported inside of ArcMap 10.1. So if you're on the latest version of ArcMap, then you have native support for Mr. SID Generation 4, which is a very powerful image file format. Not only does it allow you to compress your imagery 20 times smaller and without any loss of visual quality at all, it also allows you to take advantage of the hyperspectral, multispectral data that you have, compress that, and view it very fast inside of ArcMap directly. Just to show you a quick example, I believe I have some MG4 images here. I'll just look up. I got a 4-band image here. Let's look at an 8-band. That'll be better here. So I've got my 8-band image. Let's look at one that was done 10:1 here. Let's see what we got. So there's my 8-band image. And inside of ArcMap, of course, you can select which bands you want to be, displayed. You know, like if I wanted band 4 to be displayed and bands 1 and 2 to be displayed inside of ArcMap, I could do that. I could also just say, okay, yeah, use the alpha band, because the alpha band is band number 6 here. And when I do that, you know, there we go. That's my new band arrangement there. But this is all in a Mr. SID file. So, you know, unlimited amounts of bands here that you have. Basically, we say up to 255 bands it supports. So, so you can have a multi-band image, a hyperspectral, multispectral image in Mr. SID format. It's going to be at least 20 times smaller. In this case, I did 10:1. But you can have all the same compression options that you have to create it. This image is in very high resolution, but you know, we got a number of different ways to create that here. The software that you use to create Mr. SID right now is called GeoExpress 8.5. That's the latest version of GeoExpress. Allows you to create MG4. You can take any sort of images here. This one's in UTM Zone 17, slightly high resolution image. It allows you to take all of these 4 bands, create Mr. SID Generation 4. You can compress each band individually. So if I did per band compression here, I could say, well, I want the first 3 bands to be compressed at 20:1 and the 4th band to be compressed losslessly. You know, maybe I select lossless for that band, and so it's lossless, and the rest of these are 10:1. I could say, you know, the first 3 bands are RGB, and that helps with compression as well. So, you know, it's a lot of flexibility here with how you can create an MG4 file, compressing each band individually, rearranging the bands if you want to, making the 4th band in the position of the first. So a lot of different options there. And of course, always you can compress using the standard options, 20:1, you know, maybe I want to do 100:1, whatever the case may be, from 200 megabytes down to 2 megabytes. Or 20:1 from 200 megabytes down to 10 megabytes. So that's GeoExpress. GeoExpress allows you to create Mr. SID files. Mr. SID Generation 4 is supported here, and Mr. SID Generation 4 is supported natively inside of ArcMap 10.1. If for some reason you're not on the latest version of ArcMap, you can still get MG4 support. All you got to do is go to lizardtech.com and you can go to the sorry, here, let me open up a new tab, lizardtech.com. And go to Downloads, Plugins. And if you look in the plugins here, you'll see an MG4 support for 9.3.1, as well as ArcGIS Desktop 10 for MG4. So we support MG4 natively inside of ArcGIS Desktop 9.3.1, or 10.1 supports it natively, and 9.3.1 you can have this plugin here. You can download that and install it, as well as ArcGIS 10. You can get those there on lizardtech.com. I'm just going to copy this and paste this in the chat window for you. If you have any questions at any time, by the way, feel free to use the chat panel just to avoid the opening up the phone lines and all of that at this time. But the chat panel should be available for you. We've got quite a few attendees on, and I'd just be afraid everyone would be talking over each other. So, all right, let's take a look at a couple of other things. So just to kind of give you the overview, I'm just going to go through real fast and show you what kind of things are supported. Then we'll dive in a little deeper and show you more things that you can do with this functionality. But basically, they say that MG4 images are supported here in 10.1, and they give you a lot of more flexibility and power than you've ever had with Mr. SID files. In addition to that, they're very fast to pan and zoom around. As Mr. SID goes, I can open up a very large image in here. I think I have a really large one that I can show off. So here's one that I've compressed. Let's see, that's MG3 though. But Mr. SID in general is very fast to pan and zoom around. Let's take a look at some other things. So on the other end of the spectrum, we have LiDAR data. Now, LiDAR data has typically been a big challenge to use because LiDAR data is very large. There's a lot of the points. There's millions of points, and oftentimes people are storing those in LAS format. And you can store stuff in LAS, but the problem is that you can only store so much in one file. So you end up having to grid out the files. They call them LAS grids to store a full data set. And so you've got all these thousands of files that store one data set. So what we did was we looked at ways of making LiDAR data a lot easier. And so what we did was we created MG4 for LiDAR. We've got Mr. SID for LiDAR now. And MG4 for LiDAR allows you to compress your LiDAR data, your LAS data. Let's just take a look at this Mount St. Helens LAS file here, which in this case is 110 megabytes. Not too bad, 5.8 million points. And we can compress this to Mr. SID in LizardTech LiDAR compressor. So LiDAR compressor is software from LizardTech that creates MG4 from LAS files. It also creates it from comma-separated value files, text files, ASCII files, any kind of text file. So you can bring that in here. You can convert it to MG4. And when you do that, it's going to be anywhere between like 4 to, I've seen 16 times smaller, but basically we say 4 times smaller. Right now we're looking at the LAS file data. This is all the point cloud data here. It's all three-dimensional. LiDAR compressor gives you a 3D viewer that you can orbit around and pan and zoom in and stuff like that. And then we've got the pre-baked SID file here, which draws a lot faster than the LAS file. So that's the other advantage is once you convert this to MG4, all the points are indexed as well. So a LAS file is not going to have indexed points, but when you convert it to MG4, you've got an indexed point cloud. And note that this SID file, this MG4 file, is not an image. It is a point cloud. It is the actual LiDAR points. So these are two different file formats that share the same name. There's MG4 for imagery, and then there's MG4 for LiDAR. So this is a full point cloud. It's containing all the points, and this is lossless. So when we say that it's you know, 4 times smaller or whatever the case may be, that's lossless. So the file size is smaller and it is lossless. In fact, I can even just compress this one just to show you what the end result is here. So we'll let that run. It probably just run for a few seconds. It's not that much data to compress at all. 110 megabytes for a LiDAR compressor. That's no big deal. But then not only that, so you've got this image, or you've got this LiDAR point cloud that is, you know, 4 to 10 times smaller, 4 to 16 times smaller. It's indexed, it's fast, it's easy to use. But then not only that, it's supported in ArcMap 10.1. So I can take that MG4 data. Let me go into my LiDAR data here. Mount St. Helens. I can add that in. It's missing spatial reference information, but I can still draw it. So there it is. Bam, right in ArcMap. There is my MG4 data, and I can use this as a DEM. In fact, if I wanted to do like contour lines and things like that, I could click on the contours here, create my contours for my data here. I could do like you know, line of sight, things like that. Like what if I'm standing here? You know, what's my line of sight? So here I can work with the data right inside of ArcMap 10.1, and you know, and it's an MG4 file. It's an MG4 point cloud. So that's the deal. You've got MG4 for imagery. You've got MG4 for LiDAR. LiDAR compressor creates the LiDAR images, and in this case 12.9 to 1, about 13 times smaller, and that's lossless. So this box is checked, lossless. That means that absolutely everything about the LiDAR data is going to be there. We retain all of the information that's in the file. Let's just take a look at some of the fields. So all of the last fields, X, Y, Z, intensity, all of this stuff, all of the custom last stuff is there. But if you wanted to add a new one, you know, an unnamed field, if there were fields in your data that you have in there, you know, you could do that as well. You could name it whatever you want and assign it there. So yeah, there's LiDAR compressor creating MG4 for LiDAR. There's GeoExpress, which creates MG4 images. Those are two LizardTech products that create these output formats that are extremely powerful and fast to use directly inside of ArcMap. Let's take a look at one more option for how you can do things with ArcMap and with these files. So that's the heart of it. The heart of it is Mr. SID. Mr. SID gives you, you know, a lot of power and flexibility, and it's supported natively in ArcMap. One of the things that a lot of people like to do with their imagery is to publish it using ArcGIS server. So you've got some kind of image service that you're loading up and sharing out to customers. Now, what you may have found is that you know, using compressed imagery inside of image server is not recommended. You know, basically the performance with Mr. SID and all of that stuff in image server directly has not been up to par. So one of the things that we offer is something that can help with that, something that can make using compressed imagery extremely easy to use and to use with ArcGIS server. We've got a product called Express Server. Now, just to show Express Server on its own here, here's an example of how fast Express Server can be used. One thing I'll do is make sure that I'm connected here to the internet. Yeah, okay. Give me a second here. What do we got? Oh, I see. Let me do this here. I'm going open up Internet Explorer because that's on the web here. Okay. All right, so here's my, so just Express Server on its own. Basically, you know, here's a sample web application that uses Express Server where I can, I can double click to zoom in and you can see everything loading up in tiles really quickly. As I double click to zoom in, everything just kind of refreshes nice and quick. I get all these tiles loaded up. I'm using open layers to browse this. Now, Express Server is basically a WMS server. So right now I'm using the WMS feed from our Express Server to zoom into these stadiums here. And as I pan and zoom around, you can see that everything loads up in tiles wherever I go using open layers here. So that's using Express Server. It's blazing fast. It's serving Mr. SID and JPEG 2000, compressed imagery, blazing fast. Let me show you that directly inside of ArcMap. As you know, ArcMap it's a WMS viewer as well. So if I go in here and I add data, one thing I can do is add from a GIS server. In this case, I can look at that same data we just looked at. Or actually, why don't I do this? Why don't I use some customer data? This is New Jersey, state of New Jersey. They have Express Server there. Let's open up one of their layers here. Let's do some natural 2010 here. So there it is, right inside of ArcMap directly. Express Server serving WMS into ArcMap. Not only that, ArcMap is requesting it in a different coordinate reference system. It's requesting it in the lat-long coordinate reference system, whereas the source data is in a UTM zone or a state plane. So one of the things that Express Server does on the fly is that it will actually reproject this data on the fly. So as the request comes in, Express Server looks at the bounding box, looks at the requested coordinate reference system, and it will reproject it on the fly. So what's going on behind the scenes here, in addition to all that, is when we look at these layers here, each one of these layers on the Express Server side is actually just a folder that's filled with Mr. SID imagery or JPEG 2000 imagery. So, they've got a folder on their system that may be called Black White 1930 or something similar, and they're just saying, okay, let's serve all this data out. And what Express Server does is it just says, okay, you can leave these as individual Mr. SID files. I'll do the rest of the work for you. So, all right, thanks for telling me that's a catalog, and it takes all of these individual Mr. SID tiles and it creates this index for them, and it will mosaic it on the fly. It'll reproject it on the fly, and you don't have to do anything to prepare the imagery. You don't have to load it into SDE or anything like that. You can just leave it there, compressed as it is, taking up, the small amount of space that it does, so that leaves room to add tons more data on the server or on a network drive or something like that. You can serve up petabytes of data, as many of our customers do, and without much administration on your part at all. In fact, let me just quickly show you the way that you manage Express Server. Here's the Express Server administration website here. Let's say I wanted to add a new catalog. I can just go to Add. I want to serve up, and it just says, okay, where's the data you want to serve? Well, let's see. It's in my, let me do my sample images folder here. That's a good one. Or actually, no, let's do this. I've got a pretty large data set here in my image folder, and where did I put that? Oh yeah, in my training images folder, large tiles. So in this folder, let's look see what's in here. Large tiles. I've got a number of different images in here, and I can serve those out, and it'll mosaic it automatically for me. Even better example of this would be if I went to, let's see here. Let's see what we got here. Let's go to C, Lizard Tech, Server 8, sample images. Let's do this. In here, I've just got 2 Mr. Sid images, quite large images, but I'll just select this folder. I'll add it. And since there's already one there, it's renaming it for me and it's indexing it for me. And it's doing all of this automatically. It's going to I haven't done anything but tell it where my images are stored that I want to serve out. I said, you know, serve this folder. And it's basically going to index that for me, and it'll be ready to go and ready to publish as soon as it's done indexing. And so when I go and I look at my my local server here that I've got, you'll see it on there. Here's all the data I'm serving. There's that large data. I've already done that. And here's that BM 2002. And I can look at this using some sample viewers. It's also available via WMS right away, so I could just load that layer up into WMS. So that was publishing a WMS layer of Mr. Sid files. That was how easy it was. I just gave it the path, and that was it. That's pretty darn simple. So let's take a look at how this integrates with ArcGIS Server. Now, one of our Express Server customers is Manatee County. They're doing a very exciting work with ArcGIS Server, and they're publishing their data with ArcGIS Server. As you can see, this is their GIS viewer. And this imagery that you see here is actually provided by their Express Server. They have Express Server. They've got all their imagery in Mr. Sid, JPEG 2000, stuff like that. And they're just serving it out with Express Server because it's extremely fast, and the imagery is still compressed. So they don't have to worry about loading it anywhere. They just did that simple, like I showed you here. They just did this simple adding a, you know, catalogs like this, where they've got, okay, here's some folders of imagery, here's some other things, and yet they can use ArcGIS Server for all of its powerful features. You know, using all these vector layers and adding all of this stuff and its searchability and the power that ArcGIS Server provides, and they can just integrate that Mr. Sid imagery in there nice and easy. Using Express Server, so it gives them a lot of speed with their imagery, a lot of power there to integrate it. And I'm sure they'd be happy to have you check out their GIS here anytime. So that's just one example of how you can integrate Express Server with ArcGIS Server. Here they've got different years of imagery that they can add in. You can see it just pops right in. That's all thanks to Express Server here. And that's Mr. Sid imagery. You can go back through the years here. They've got a base map, obviously, that they're using probably from ArcGIS Server, from Image Server here. So you can do this kind of thing too. It's extremely easy. Express Server has a trial version online. You can just go to lizardtech.com, download the trial version. You'll have this administration console where you too can just have these folders of Mr. Sid imagery. You can just basically check a box or just say, okay, add a catalog here, and it's that easy. Express Server does all the work for you. Version 8, we've done a lot of work to make it as easy as possible to use Mr. Sid imagery and create WMS services and to link it up with powerful ArcGIS Server applications like this. So yeah, that's the base of what we do and how we make life easier for Esri product users. We want to make sure that you can use Mr. Sid and that it works very well for you inside of ArcGIS products, Esri products. That's been important for us to make sure that that Mr. Sid is as fast and as smooth as it can be for you. There are a number of other features that these products offer besides just compressing to MG4. For example, if you want to take this image and reproject it, you can do that inside of here. For example, if I wanted to put that into 3857, I can just start typing that pseudo Mercator. If I just wanted to start typing, WGS 84, for example, WGS 84, I just start typing it. And, I've got WGS 84, I can just choose there. And it'll let me reproject from zone 17 to WGS 84, nice and easy. Other things I can do some cropping. Like maybe I've got an existing Mr. Sid image that I want to crop. Inside of GeoExpress, I can just take this image. It's very quick to preview. And for example, I can just, even that large image, let me just take that large image. Inside of this Optimize tab, I can go in here to this large image that I've got, which is over 9 gigabytes, or it's about 9 gigabytes. Actually 178 gigabytes in total, but I've compressed it down to 9 gigabytes. And it's actually very high quality, very high resolution. One thing you can do is you can actually take this cropping tool and you can do a number of things. You can actually crop by coordinates. You can draw a box around a certain region. And it's very fast to crop the image and grab any portion of it that you want inside of this Optimize tab. Once it's in MG3 or MG4 format, you can load it in this Optimize tab, crop out any portion of it, and save it very, very quickly out to MG3 or MG4. So I can do cropping. I can do, like also with the cropping, I can do rows and columns. I can basically demosaic it. Let me remove the cropping I did. And I can just start typing. I can just start setting here. I want to make I don't know, 8x8 tiles here and chunk this out. I can just set that there, and it'll chunk it out, make it into these different images, 64 images. So another thing you can do. Let's just remove this here. Oh yeah, let's do some color balancing. So for example, those are our Mr. Sid files. Okay, so I'll just take these Mr. Sid files and one thing you can do is use this color balancing tool. The color balancing tool will let you oh, I need to make a mosaic. Let me make a mosaic of these guys here real quick. Sorry, bear with me. There we go. Let's grab those guys. I will use their world files here. I know I'm going a little fast here, but I just want to show off the color balancing. So look at this. These images don't look that great right now, but inside of GeoExpress, I can open this color balance tool here. I can say, well, match them all to each other. I can also do things like this. I can see that there's vignetting around these images where it's darker in places and lighter in others. So I can correct for that vignetting. I see the seam lines here, so I can just hit, the seam line correction button, hit OK. Now my mosaic is looking good. I can do that and just compress it, and that's all part of the one process. I didn't have to open up different applications, color balance it, save it out as a TIFF or whatever, IMG, whatever. I can just do it right in here, color balance in here, save the mosaic, and just load it up in ArcMap as a Mr. Sid file. So I've got it, 20 times smaller, 5.2 megabytes. It's color balanced, and it's a fine-looking image. So color balancing, cropping, there's despeckling if you've got imagery that has speckles from being, being compressed or something like that. You can despeckle the image. In MG4, you don't have to worry about any of that because of the alpha band. The alpha band actually protects the no data areas and masks those out. So yeah, that's the base of all of that. I'm going to check the chat here real quick for some questions and see what's there. So what we have so far. All right, I'll start with the first one here. Someone's asking, if you already have GeoExpress, do you need to pay additional money for LiDAR compressor? So yeah, these are two different software packages. There's GeoExpress is one piece of software. You can download a free trial online and you can buy it separately. There's a lot of different versions of GeoExpress, but the main focus is that it allows you to create imagery and work with imagery and MG4. And then there's LiDAR compressor, which is a different piece of software that you can also download a free trial online at lizardtech.com. Both of these trials are 30 days. And then, yeah, so you buy a LiDAR compressor separately. There may be package deals that your salesperson can offer to you for buying more than one product. I'm sure there's got to be something like that. I don't really know offhand. Yeah, so so you got the GeoExpress, you have LiDAR compressor, 2 different pieces of software, as well as Express Server, which is a 3rd piece of software which allows you to serve out Mr. SID imagery. It's that GUI that I showed you here, basically. Express Server is this. It's this piece of software. You connect to it like this, and it serves out the Mr. SID imagery. Somebody's asking if you can serve out different band combinations in Express Server. And yes, you can. So, for example, I've got, if you notice here, I've got it's the same path. See LizardTech Express Server 8 sample images GeoEye. And this one too is the same path. But notice this one's RGB and this one is the infrared RGB. So I've got bands 4, 2, 3 here, and 1, 2, 3 there. The same imagery. It's just converted, using the different bands. And if I just show you here, let me open up again back here. Actually, I think I can just do this here. I'll just go here, I'll go browse. There we go. So here's the NIR, here's the RGB. You can see they're 2 different, even though it's the same data set. We've got requests to see what else GeoExpress can do. Somebody's asking what other software can do what GeoExpress can do. Right now, there is no other software that can create MG4, MG3. Mr. SID creation is something that LizardTech bases its primary business off of. So we allow you to create Mr. SID. We allow you to create Mr. SID imagery. We allow you to create Mr. SID LiDAR files. And basically, LizardTech is the only source. GeoExpress is the only way to do that. There may be other software that can work with imagery and color balance it and reproject it and stuff like that. But as far as creating Mr. SID files, this is the way to do it, using GeoExpress. So when you get your Mr. SID files delivered, in the Mr. SID file format, whether you're using NAPE or other sources, what GeoEye or Digital Globe or any of these guys that are delivering these images, they have GeoExpress, and that's how they're creating these Mr. SID images. There may have been extensions in the past to create Mr. SID, but we don't necessarily offer that anymore. So we've got GeoExpress is the only way to create MG4, MG3, stuff like that. It allows you to mosaic data. To answer the other person's question, allows you to mosaic data as well, so you can have unlimited size mosaics, and they can be different resolutions. They can be different coordinate reference systems, the tiles can, and it allows you to do that as well. And you can do all that stuff all at once. You can be cropping, reprojecting, color balancing, mosaicing, all at the same time, and then just have your output image done in one software product. So somebody's asking about, is there a limit of how much you can serve on Express Server? And the answer is no, really there is no limit. You can have as many catalogs as you want. You can have unlimited file sizes, unlimited everything. You can serve as much data as you want to serve from Express Server. No problem. So, load it up. We've had, especially like military users that use Express Server, they've got that stuff loaded up. They've got the entire world, times 5, times 10. They've got petabytes and petabytes of information that they're serving up. Oh, and one more thing that reminds me, we also serve geospatial PDFs. So when we look in here in geospatial PDFs, and maybe a better example of this is to kind of show that off here. Let's look at our PDFs, GeoPDFs. Geospatial PDFs are served here. I'm just going to look at an example here. Oops, let's see what I got. Oh, yeah, here we go. So here's a geospatial PDF serving up with Express Server, nice and quick. So you can take your GeoPDFs, load them in the same way that you saw before. You just give it a name, you give it a path, it'll find the PDFs, and it will serve them out for you. Simple as pie. And you can optimize the PDFs for serving as well just by pressing a button. So yeah, it's actually extremely fast to do all of that. And then these PDFs are available via Express Server. You can access them, the same way you would your other data. Are there any more questions? The phone lines are down or they're muted. So if you do have a question, please don't hesitate to write it in the chat. If you want more information on any of these products, you can go to lizardtech.com. I'm going to put my email in the chat as well. It's rparker@lizardtech.com. You can access this webinar later on our archives page at lizardtech.com. And yeah, you can download trials of all of these products: Express Server, LiDAR compressor, and GeoExpress. You can download free trials, last for 30 days. Another question that just popped in: does GeoExpress create GeoPDF? GeoExpress does not create GeoPDF. You would have to use some other kind of GeoPDF creation tool. Maybe that's something we'll look into in a future version of GeoExpress, but for now, it's just Express Server that accepts those as input, because I know a lot of people are using those. It's a common request that we had in the past, and we listened to customer requests, and so we added support for GeoPDF in Express Server. But to create a GeoPDF, you'd have to use some other software. A couple more questions just popped in here. What else can Express Server do after you publish the data? So after you publish the data, the main features that Express Server offers is that it delivers via WMS. It allows item downloads. Like let me just show you, for example, something I didn't point out during this presentation so far. Look, let me go back to that Washington data, for example. This is the entire state of Washington. I'm going to open up this download sample. Now let's say I'm viewing this data here. This is a custom viewer, but you could build any kind of web viewer you wanted to. You could even have the ArcGIS server solutions. Let's say I'm looking at this area here, and I'm somebody who wants to download this and take it offline. So I'm going to draw a box around this area here. Let's see here. I got the control key here. Let's see here. Actually, I'm having a little bit of a issue here. Oh, let's see. I'm not quite exactly sure what that one is. Let me just bear with me here. And while I'm looking for that, I can say that one of the other features that it offers is, there it is. One of the other features that it offers is the ability to reproject on the fly, and the ability to the ability to mosaic on the fly. I think I deleted some demos here that I was going to use. I'm sorry about that. Let me see if I can find it here on my local machine. So let's say I got this. Let's give this a try. Essentially, I'll be able to draw a box around a region here, click the Export Selected Region button, and download that as a full resolution TIFF file or JPEG file or something like that that I can take offline with me on my handheld device. So basically, you know, I'm not sure what I did with these demos, but basically you can draw a box around an area, export it. You know, you can even specify a bounding box in the URL here and say export, and download that at full resolution. Okay, there we go. Now it's working out for me. So let me just take a look back here at what we were looking at. Downloader sample here. Let's say I zoom into this area. I want to download this area at full resolution. I'm not looking at it at full resolution, but here I'm going to go. I'm going to click Export Selected Region. It's telling me it's you know, 1,000 by 1,500 pixels, and it just lets me download that. I'm going to just put it on my desktop. Download sample.tiff, and it's downloaded it. It's starting to download there. And then I can just take that offline, and it'll be a full resolution version of what I've got there. So to answer that question, you know, you can download regions at full resolution in applications like this. You can reproject on the fly. You can mosaic on the fly. And you know, and of course you can combine it with ArcGIS server to serve out the imagery really fast via WMS, and let ArcGIS server give you all of its power as well. There was a question about GeoExpress. Does GeoExpress preserve the 11/16-bit radiometric resolution of satellite imagery? GeoExpress does when you're converting to MG4. So MG4 supports those 16-bit. You know, you can have 16-bit imagery. It can be multi-resolution and unsigned, signed. So yeah, when you're going to MG4, you preserve all of that. Let's see, there's a question about using Rapid Eye. I'm not familiar with Rapid Eye. Being very difficult and hard to get a contrast. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with that. I can't really speak to that. Let's see, and then there's a question about, what's next here? Okay, question about GeoViewer. I've got GeoViewer actually. So for consumers who view SID files with the free viewer, which is GeoViewer, I'm sorry, I forgot to point that out. Mr. SID can be viewed inside of LizardTech GeoViewer. How does it handle it when the creator has selected multispectral images? Does the viewer allow them easily to select bands? Let's just take a look at this. I'm going to add a layer here that I know is multispectral. Let's look in here. I know I've got some training images here. 8-band, I'll look at that same 8-band image. Let's just add this in here. Which one is it? I believe it's this guy. Zone 36N, okay. All right, so there's my image. Now, here I go. I've got select bands. This little band selector shows up. Now this makes it very easy. Grayscale, band 1, band 2. You know, I can just select band 1, band 2. You know, if I wanted to look at them individually, if I want to look at them all together, I've got RGB. Let me just say, okay, let's do band 4, 1, and 2. Okay, great. 4, 1, and 2. There it is inside of GeoViewer. So that's the free viewer. If you're using the web plugin, you can do the same thing. You can right-click on the image. You can say select bands, and and choose the different bands as well. Somebody's asking about a white paper about using the server in the military context. Yeah, we do have a case study. We have actually a few case studies that we could share with you. Just get in contact with me or your salesperson in your area. My email address is rparker@lizardtech.com. It's there in the chat if you saw it. You can copy that and send that question directly to me, and we can email it to you. And then let's see here. What do we get next? Who's next here? There's lots of questions coming in here. I'm sorry. I'm trying to see which ones I've already answered. And let's see here. And somebody wanted more clarification on the features of GeoExpress that are advanced, versus what's already in ArcGIS Desktop 10. Basically, the idea is that you can use these images directly inside of ArcGIS Desktop 10.1. Having this multispectral data, this was never there before. MG4 is not supported in earlier versions natively of ArcGIS. You can get the plugin to get it supported, but 10.1 provides native support for this file format. And the file format is what gives you the advanced power and control. I mean, you've got these multispectral images now that are compressed in Mr. SID, and that you can access the different bands. They've got alpha bands now, so the transparency isn't a big deal at all. All the transparency is taken care of. And, so there's a lot of power just in the file format itself. And in addition to, having GeoExpress being able to mosaic this stuff, being able to reproject it all in one, when you're compressing, that's another big feature as well, a big bonus for a lot of people. And then about the iPad viewer here. So will the iPad viewer provide similar capability to select RGB bands, or is it a much simpler interface? So the iPad viewer, I believe you can select multiple bands, but I'm not sure. I actually have to check on that. I haven't messed with that too much. We do have an iPad viewer, as this user points out. You can download the iPad viewer for free on the App Store. And we're looking to bring that functionality as well to the iPhone. That should be, sometime soon, and as well as Android devices. So we're looking into all of that. And you should see a lot of that. Keep your ears posted, keep your eyes posted to lizardtech.com and to our Twitter page and all of the news, however you want to get your news from us. Just keep posted, and we'll let you know what's going on with the mobile viewers there. All right, so that's about it. It's been a good almost an hour here talking about this stuff with you guys. I appreciate your time here and that you've come and attended this. You can always look up the archives on lizardtech.com and see the recording of this. All the things that I've shown you today. If you have any questions, you want more details, you can always give me an email at rparker@lizardtech.com. You can contact your salesperson. Just click your region in the list there on lizardtech.com to get connected that way. And hope to hear from you guys soon. Hope you have a wonderful weekend and holiday season. And make sure to download free trials of the software. Yeah, hope to hear from you guys soon. Thanks so much for attending. Bye, everybody.